This podcast is being recorded on Kaurna land. We honour and celebrate the strong cultural traditions of motherhood, family and connection to country.
How Motherhood Changed Me is brought to you by Harrison Macmillan, Australia's leading recruitment firm run by women who live by values that make their mothers proud.
No woman can say motherhood hasn't changed her, but every mother's story is different.
Motherhood stops you from being able to mask anything you were feeling, and I spent my life masking things that I was feeling and things that I should have dealt with that I never dealt with. I can't be going clubbing when I'm a mum. Yeah. So I'm sitting here going, what the hell? Oh, I've got to mask this. Wait, I can't mask it. I need to deal with it. Yeah. And so I was forced to deal with it.
This is How Motherhood Changed Me.
Hello, I'm Kerrie Turner. And I'm Jenna Yates. For those of us who indulge in a bit of reality TV every now and then, you will likely remember the mum we're talking with today. Yes. We first watched her on The Bachelor, where she finished third in Maddie J's season in 2017. She was my favourite. Wasn't happy she didn't win. No. Then she went on to Bachelor in Paradise, and now she's very happily married and a mum to two beautiful babies. Her Instagram bio describes her as a professional piss taker and a relatable mumma. So sounds right up our alley.
I love it.
Tara Pavlovic-Shepherdson, hello, and thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me.
I was nervous getting to the end of that intro. We were talking about the pronunciation of your name off air before, and I was like, don't get it wrong. Don't get it wrong. But I nailed it, I think.
You did so well. Now you've just got to spell it. Try spelling it with your eyes closed.
Now, Tara, before we get all the juicy goss from you, could you give us a word to describe the woman that you were before you had your beautiful babies?
Ooh, chaos. 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 I didn't realize what a mess I was back then until I had my babies. And you know, like a lot of stuff comes up once you have your children. So I was just forced to do so much work. And now I'm obviously still chaos because I have two kids that are 2 and 3. Like, we're not escaping the chaos yet, but I'm controlled chaos.
I love it. You've got to be on a routine now, so there's a little bit more structure probably.
I can just handle things better. Structured chaos, that's right.
Add that to the Insta bio, Tara.
That's it. That's actually really good. Structured chaos. I love that. Oxymoron.
Yeah, isn't it?
So good.
I remember you saying when you were on The Bachelor how important kids were to you, and that I guess you always knew you wanted to be a mum. I think you were an aunt at the time, is that right? And kids were something that you spoke about a lot. We all have a list, I suppose, of the qualities that we're looking for in a partner. And especially someone that we're going to have children with. And I wonder, what were your top things on your list as you were looking to find the person that you would have children with?
See, I'm one of those people that is all about like feelings. And so Nick, my husband, as soon as I met him years and years ago, I was like drawn. And then we were never together. Well, look, if I was up here for a holiday, we may have had a sneaky pash or whatever, because I used to live in Sydney. But once we finally got together, I knew that he was just it for me. And it was like this, I can't even describe it, but it was this magnet. Like, I could not be with anyone else. I was like, you are like, he was just my everything. And I didn't really think of us as parents before getting pregnant. I just thought, this is what it is. Like, we are going to be parents, but I wasn't like, I wonder how he's going to be. Which I probably should have thought of, because, you know, you got to work through that once they come, and it's like, wait a minute, no, that's not right. This isn't right. We actually have to have this conversation. We should have had way before we even thought about having kids. Yeah. I think that's normal though. I think you have the you can have the conversations before, and what happens after is just, you can't plan it, can you? It just happens. and you have to work through a lot as a couple. But I based my choosing of him on literally how much I loved him, and that was it.
Love it. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I suppose we all have to kiss a few toads, don't we, to find the person that
Have done so.
So many toads. So many toads.
But then that makes you realise when you've got a good one.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. I just knew with him. I feel like I always knew with him. I'm like, there's something different about this guy. He was that one person that is just always never leaves you. Never leaves you. It's just obsessed with him. Oh, obsessed. And then when we had kids, I was like, not quite obsessed with you
Get
anymore.
away from me.
You kind of piss me off.
Yeah.
You piss me off a lot. But we had our kids 16 months apart. So it was just full on. Once that second kid comes and everything's just like complete madness, you are a bit like, go away. Just go away.
Yeah.
I don't like you.
Yeah.
Go away. You did this to me.
Absolutely spot on.
Yeah, and you know the way they chew annoys you.
Yeah. The way they don't put their shoes away.
And I'm like, get away. Don't snore. I already get no sleep.
I wonder if it's biology to turn us off so we don't have more kids.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
There's got to be something in that.
I feel like we're coming out the other end now, though, and we're really back to that connecting again, which has been so nice. Yeah, it's been so nice.
You've got your family back in Sydney, so it's probably hard to fob them off and have a date night and all the rest of it.
Yeah, look, we have to pay babysitters if we want to have a date night. I also have to pay a nanny sometimes to come in so I can work. So the date night definitely takes a bit of a back, like it just, it's not a priority sometimes. Which is hard. When my mum does come up to help, it's so good. It's life-changing. When she was here last time, I was almost like, I reckon if I had family close by, I could have another child. It was that much more helpful.
Just that help.
Like we could leave the house. We were like, we're going to the movies. Bye.
Thanks, Mum.
Bye.
Yeah.
It was weird. We just got there eating popcorn, like, what the hell is happening?
So good.
I felt free.
Looking through the real estate for somewhere that Mum can buy.
Yeah,
Close
we
by.
are. No, we legit are.
Had a granny flat on.
Yeah.
What we love most about you is how honest and real you are. And it's no wonder that you've built such a supportive online community. It's relatable. People have a laugh and we connect with you because it's like, that just happened to me.
You're not afraid to call it as it is.
Totally.
Because this job as a mum is bloody hard.
I wonder,
It is hard.
with social media, before The Bachelor and all of that, did you ever imagine that this could be your job, like what you do?
I never thought about it. I feel like it wasn't a big thing at that point in time, though. Like, I knew people had, like, I had Instagram and I thought it was more like an arty like thing, like you put a filter on and make a photo that really nice and you show people a flower in your garden type thing. Like, I didn't know what a business it could be.
That is what Instagram was.
It was, yeah.
It was just
it was.
a photo sharing platform.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, like kind of like Facebook. I knew that there was like YouTubers, but I feel like when I got all of the following from Bachelor, it was still just kind of starting out a little bit. When was that? 2017. Was that it? Yeah, I think so. So I never thought about it really. And I know everyone's like, anyone goes on reality TV just to get followers, but like, it wasn't really a thing.
Not the way it is now. No.
It was so weird after it. The followers just kept coming and coming and coming. Like, I would refresh my phone and it's like going up by the thousands. It was so hectic. And then the messages and stuff, I was like, whoa, like this is crazy. Crazy.
You were just on the show, though. I mean, you were the fan favourite. Does that embarrass you when I say that? Like, everyone loved you and everyone was, like, rooting for you to win. And, yeah, you made third. But, yeah, it doesn't stop there, does it? And then we've developed these parasocial relationships with people we see
so true
on TV and then online, and you think you're friends with somebody. And, I mean, that's what it's kind of like, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I feel like everyone on my Instagram is my friend too. I literally feel like it is the nicest community. The support we all have for each other on there is like amazing. I get women DMing me all the time, just talking to me about like their life and, you know, just asking me questions. And it's just such a nice little community. And I literally feel like anyone I talk to there is a good friend of mine.
That's really cool.
That's very nice. Now, Tara, you mentioned that you had your babies quite close together, 16 months apart, was it?
Yeah, 16 months apart.
I can't even comprehend that. How did you find that time? Like the changes that come with being pregnant, but then you're also nurturing a baby and then you're pregnant again. How did you find all of that?
It was, I think, when I fell pregnant, my eldest Patty was around 7 months old. I find that to be the easiest age for a child. Even now, Patty's 3.5, Edie Ray's just turned 2. I still think that 6 months to 1 year is the easiest age. So I think I got a bit cocky and was like, don't be careful. Like, if we fall again, like, we'll just, you know,
we got this.
Fine. It's easy. Like, because it was easy at that point. One child at that age I found to be quite easy. We both could get a break. Like, we weren't too tired because there was 2 of us and 1 baby. And so I fell pregnant and I was like, it's fine. It's all good. And then he started to walk and I started to get a lot of pain and I was like, this is getting a bit hard. And then my pain had something called pubis symphysis dysfunction, so I could like hardly even walk. My pubic bone was so sore. I had to literally put ice on my vagina at the end of the day because I was in that much pain. He was a heavy boy too. And then so it got to like the end of the pregnancy and I was like, oh my God, okay, how am I going to do this? Like, he's just learning to walk, like falling over things and
you can't walk.
All good. Yeah, and I couldn't walk. And I was like, sweet. It'll be fine once the baby comes. Anyway, gave birth to her. It was a great birth, like so good. No tearing. So like the recovery was pretty quick. The pain went away. And she slept so well. I actually took her because he was a terrible newborn. So I actually took her to the pediatrician. I was like, something's wrong with her. She is calm. And I was like, I think she's having seizures. I think she's having seizures. She just looks at things. And then they're like, she's fine. And she was just a good baby and I'd never had that before. So I was like, this is great. And then so it was kind of calm. And then she started to walk. And that's when shit really hit the fan. Like, I think that's when I started to really lose my mind.
You can appreciate why those parents have the child leashes.
Oh,
can't
yes.
You? I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
I've never done it and I've always said I will never do it.
But you're like,
it
I
makes
get
sense.
it.
Yeah.
I get it now. I used to be like, oh, that's awful. Now I'm like, get me one of them. Get me 2 of them.
And not the retractable ones where they can go as far as they want. They're on a tight lead.
Oh, but it's so scary. I mean, I've got 3, Tara. You know, they just run. They don't listen. You're navigating cars and you're like, it's so hard, isn't it? Breathe.
The injuries, I found like when she started to walk and all that. Also, there was some like a bit hard moments when she was moving around as well. And him, like, because he was so young, he would just go up and like just whack her across the face and stuff, like when I wasn't looking. So it was like just a bit like, oh. But the injuries, I've like, it was just had me on edge every day. Like they were just falling and I'm like, nothing could be safe. Literally, to make the house safe, I would have had to get rid of the wall and the floors. The wall and the floors were worst.
The coffee table's not a problem.
Like, oh, It's literally the walls and the floors.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, baby-proof your house. Like, how? I have to make it like a trampoline, like a bounce place.
A padded cell.
Yeah.
I can relate. I mean, gosh, mine stack it everywhere. Even this morning, my eldest put a metal peg on my middle boy's ear. And I was like, why did you do that? He was so upset and it was like bright red. And he was just like, they're just exploring. But it's like, gosh.
Just think.
Just think.
Is that a good idea? I constantly say to my boy, make good decisions. I kiss him on his way to school every morning. Make good decisions today, mate.
Comes home with another bruise. We all know that it takes a village to raise a child, and our friends at Harrison Macmillan know that it also takes a team to build a successful business.
And they're here to help you find the right team members.
Mums understand the value of asking for help, and businesses should too.
Harrison Macmillan specialises in recruiting top talent so you don't have to go it alone. They have the experience and network to ensure you get the best candidates.
With over 500 clients across Australia, they are well known for their people-centric expertise.
They don't see themselves as just a recruitment agency, but as your strategic talent partner committed to meeting your unique staffing challenges.
And outsourcing to them means you can focus on what you do best.
Visit harrisonmacmillan.com.au to learn more about how they can support your business just like a village supports a family.
We've currently got like a big bite mark bruise on Edie Ray's arm. Very distinct teeth marks.
Ouch.
Can match them with Paddy's teeth.
They actually look very much like Paddy's teeth.
He's denied, I'm guessing.
No. He said, I bit her.
Oh.
Boys are not sneaky. They tell you everything.
Yeah, because they think it's funny.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have told me.
No.
Oh.
She would have said no.
Are they friends? Do they, as much as, siblings fight? I mean, I see that with my boys. They do love each other.
Yeah.
They do fight like siblings, but they love like siblings.
They love each other. I mean, Paddy only bit her because she was pinching him and she wouldn't let go. She's real sneaky. She's smart. She's really smart with like getting to him. And obviously he's only 3.5, so he doesn't know how to use his words very well yet. So the bite was like, get off me. But he just latched on like
sounds
a pit bull.
Like a standard second born. The little shit stirrer pushes the buttons.
She is a shit stirrer. Yeah. She's so smart. She will just grab something of his and say, this is his. She'll be like, did he?
Yeah.
And just walk away.
Sounds like
and
my
just wait.
house.
Just wait for him to just lose his shit.
Yeah. Knows
just
the
wait.
reaction's coming. And there it is. There we go.
It's so funny. I love it. It's universal, isn't it?
It really is.
We can all relate on the
younger sibling.
Yeah.
Is just poking.
Or then go another layer, girls, and have a third and watch the chaos that happens then.
No, pass thanks.
Oh,
It's all yours.
He just thinks he owns the place. He does. And he knows it. And God, we let him get away with it because it's just a little bit easier than dealing with a meltdown.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
The stuff I let slide here is just crazy. Just so it's calm and I don't have to hear the screaming.
Yes.
It's like when you threaten to take the iPad away, but really you're like, no, because that would suck for me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Keep
Please
the iPad.
just listen, please.
You mentioned your pain when you were pregnant. That's one thing, I suppose, all the pregnancy changes we all go through. You know, your body is just no longer yours, and it continues once the baby's born with breastfeeding and just constantly picking up someone and they sleep on top of you and it's just, it doesn't feel like it even belongs to you anymore. There's that, and then there's also the fact that you look completely different too. And it's such a, for me at least, when I was pregnant, I don't think I've ever felt more beautiful in that I was wearing like tight dresses that I didn't wear before and, just sort of embracing my womanly curves, I suppose. And then afterwards it was like, I was all soft and stretched and it was hard to like relate to the person I was looking in the mirror.
Yeah, I can completely understand that.
Was that your experience, Tara?
Yeah, Yeah, for sure, for sure. I put on so much weight after my pregnancy with Edie Ray. I think because I had two pregnancies where I just couldn't move. And then I ended up getting perinatal depression and anxiety mid through my pregnancy with Edie Ray. And I was not okay. I ended up on antidepressants, but my way of coping was just eating like whatever. Like I'm a Macca's fan, so I was through that drive-through often. I'm downing blocks of chocolate. And so after it, after like not moving and just putting on all that weight, I just thought like, oh my God, like I just don't feel myself like at all. It's not me. Like it's just different. And you got to buy new clothes to wear. You got to figure out like how to dress comfortably. Near the breastfeeding side, like not owning your own boobs. And it's just, yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot to go through. It's a huge transition.
But even once you're in the thick of it all too, I mean, you're tired and, you know, we have hot chips all the time, Tara, because it's like the kids will eat it, I'll eat it. It's easy.
I wish that was the case.
But do you know what I mean? And you're in
one that doesn't eat hot chips.
You're in a rut and you just can't. It almost compounds your, you know, mental haze because you're tired, and that's why you make those easy decisions just to feed them, and then you're even worse after it.
It's the old you are what you eat, but you're just eating carbs just to keep yourself functioning.
Exactly.
And it's this vicious
and you'll
cycle.
never feel better, but
But it's easy.
No. It's
It's
easy.
easy and it's quick and
Yeah, I was so guilty of that for up until I think it was April this year. I think it was February. I was so sick last year. I was sickness after sickness after sickness. I was like, I had to get my tonsils out. I was like not okay. And then like, I think came like March and my hair started falling out. I was getting full acne on my chin. I was the biggest I'd ever been. And I was like, oh my God, like what's going on? Something's wrong with me. And I was waking up like I had not even slept. My kids were sleeping there. I was like waking up so exhausted. Went to my doctor crying. And I was like, what is going on with me? It turned out we did a lot of testing and it turned out I had PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And I was like, thank God. And it was from that moment on, I spoke to a naturopath and got some help with my diet and completely changed my diet and was like, you know what? I need to look after me and not just these kids. Yeah. I need to make myself breakfast too. I can't just be living off their crusts and whatever I'm finding in the kitchen because I literally haven't been okay for them. So like me not looking after me is affecting them. I've made myself so sick and in such a bad way because diet has a lot to do with PCOS. I found out later.
Inflammation.
I was just fueling it. And so it was like in April, I just changed my diet and started eating whole foods. I cut the processed, I cut out the sugar, cut down the alcohol because I do love a Savvy Bee, which is so yum, but I cut it out and literally have not felt better since. Like
amazing.
Just by looking after myself, I reversed every symptom I had. So if I went to the doctors now, they wouldn't even know I had it. My blood work is so much better. My thyroid is working so much better. I'm waking up with energy. Like I almost have too much energy. Like my husband is like, piss off, you are annoying me.
Dial it down.
Buzzing around the house. And you know who else is so much better for it? My whole family.
Yeah.
Like my kids. My kids are happier kids. My husband and I are connecting. Everyone's happier since I started to look after
first.
myself.
Yeah.
It's really hard to carve out that time for you though, and you feel guilty, and I don't know if that relates to your experience, but for me it's like, where do I find the second for myself? But you're so right. It's so important.
Yeah,
and
it has to be done.
We are better parents because of it.
Yeah. It is hard. Like it's for me to get to a gym every day, it's not something I can do, but I can definitely do a little workout here, which I've been doing. And food is food. It's not actually that hard to prepare boiled eggs and pop it on some toast in the morning and just quickly scoff it down with the kids. Like, if you are prepared, it's not that hard. Like, once you do it for a couple of weeks, it's so funny because before I started, I was like, this is going to make my life so much harder. And the whole time when I was just eating the scraps, I was like, I don't have time. My life is hard as it is. If I'm prepping food and exercising and trying to fit that in, my life is going to be so much harder, but it actually makes it so much easier because everything else you do is so much more efficient.
Yeah.
So you doing a 20-minute workout with your kids around is something that I was like, I'll never be able to do that. Now I'm like, easy, because I've done it and because my brain is operating so much better and I'm that much more energized and happy and everything's flowing so much better. Everything is just easier to do throughout the day. So it actually has made everything like easier.
I love that.
Yeah.
And your social media posts too, I mean, you can see it in your face, Tara, like you're lighter obviously, but lighter in every other way the word means.
It's such a the healthy glow, but you have got the healthy glow because of the goodness you're putting in your body and you're being kind to yourself.
Oh, 100%. It's a feeling that like I've gone from waking up with like depression symptoms, anxiety, like I haven't even slept, and going like, how the hell am I going to make it through the day? Like almost crying as soon as I wake up, going like, I have no energy. Like, how am I going to do this? To literally buzzing and just being excited for the day. Like, I'm like, come on kids, let's go, let's do this. Like my energy levels are so through the roof and I'm fitting into all of the clothes, all of my favorite things that I used to be able to wear. And like, just to be able to fit into my favorite clothes that I've bought previously that I haven't been able to wear for ages. Like that's a real confidence booster. I just feel so good. I think exercising, moving and just getting those pathways to your brain working from just eating nutritious foods it's an absolute game changer.
Totally. And you know, there's that pressure to bounce back, isn't there, for mums? But listening to your story, that's not at all how you approached it. It was about you feeling better and being better for your kids. And I think that's the real difference because if we're, excessively working out and restricting ourselves, that has the opposite effect. But it's like, making some slight shifts and putting yourself first at times because that's so important.
Because if we're running on an empty tank, like you said, Tara, the family suffers. The family can't keep on
absolutely
rolling on.
Something else I read which is interesting but also maybe a fuel for anyone listening. Children actually model their healthy behaviours from their mother. So if you've got a father who works out or whatever but mum doesn't do anything, the children, like research shows that the children are sort of modelling mum
over dad.
So like you say, I love that you can do a workout with your kids around because that is such a great example for them.
Yeah, they love it. And you know what? Since I've been making healthy food for myself, my daughter has been such a better eater.
Wow.
I'm feeding her mushrooms yesterday. She's eating sauerkraut. She's eating like stuff I would never give her.
Yeah.
I just put extra in my bowl.
It's that monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
isn't it?
Like, she's like my worst eater. She eats nothing and she's eating mushrooms. So it's just been so good. And now with the workouts, like at first they were like, what are you doing? Doing this and ignoring us? Why are you putting an activity out for us to do this? Now they just know that it's 20 minutes for mummy to work out and they just play and they come join me. They come sit with me. They try copy me. It's so cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
So good. Such a good reminder to all of us to put ourselves first and don't feel guilty about it.
And don't think I can't do it because the kids are at home.
No.
Tara's proven it can be done.
Absolutely. Your, I guess, attitude is very funny. You take the piss out of yourself a lot, as you said. I can imagine when you were sort of deep in the trenches there, that sort of mask, I suppose, that you may have put up to sort of laugh at yourself and to cover up how you were feeling. Yeah, I suppose I probably have seen a couple of posts where that may be the case. Do you think?
Yeah, I think, look, I'm a big, like, if you don't laugh about it, you'll cry. So I'm a big, like, laughing at unfortunate situations is definitely a way I cope with them, for sure.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have a laugh, but also, I suppose, to realise that maybe you need to chat to someone too, and not just
Yeah. And that's the thing. I've always been so open about, you know, my downest days.
Definitely.
Seeking out my psychologist, all of the therapy I've done to get to who I am now, which happened after the birth of my second child. I did so much therapy to get to where I am now, and I did wean myself off the antidepressants. So I'm super open about that, and I just to have a platform where I'm able to be open about that has been so amazing, because I've had a number of women message me and go, hey, what was the antidepressant you're on? I remember you were doing it. I'm feeling scared. I think I need help. And I write back to them. I'm like, and I can help them. And they know that they've obviously known no one else who's been through that before, the perinatal depression, anxiety, postnatal depression, anxiety. And I've been someone that people can come to, and literally, like, I can help them through what I've done and make them feel more comfortable about it. Because I remember first when the doctor was like, I think this might be a good avenue for you. I remember being so scared because I've just heard so much stuff about them, and I'm like, this can't be good. This can't be good. Literally, they saved my life. So I just think talking about that on a platform like mine is so important. It just spreads so much awareness.
And it's only recent years that it has become something more widespread that we do talk about.
The stigma's lifted.
It has.
To a degree.
It does feel like that.
And people aren't scared to
own it,
share their experiences and have other people reach out and say, oh my gosh, I'm going through the exact same thing. I remember I've heard it a few times, but you know, we're happy to go off to the doctor for a physical checkout. You know, can I just make sure my bloods are good, everything's on track? But we don't just annually pop in with a therapist or a psychologist, or keep our mental health in check as well. It's got to work together. Go and see the GP for a quick physical checkup, but also make an appointment. Go and chat to someone to make sure you're on track mentally.
100%.
100%. It's just so important. The mental health thing is so important. I don't know why there is such a stigma. It's like if you have a therapist, you are a crazy person.
Yes.
That is not the case. I honestly, I've noticed with everyone I know that it's the other way around. It's usually the people that are so anti-therapy that have the deepest issues. They're the ones that we really need to watch because there's just something going on there. I feel like if you are open to that, you are already halfway there. Like if you're open to chatting, you're already halfway there. But it's those people that make the people feel like they shouldn't be going that are having the real issues. You know, that's usually the ones that are masking whatever they're feeling in other ways, which is just not good.
So true.
Yeah, it's spot on. And shop around for the right therapist or the right psychologist or the right whatever it is that you need. The first one you go to chat to might not be the right fit for you, but keep hunting.
Yeah. I think like word of mouth, I see mine over Zoom. She's been amazing. But the other thing I recommend if you are not feeling yourself is going to the doctor and asking for a mental health care plan. Again, don't be scared about it. People are like, I don't want that stuff on record. It hasn't impacted my life at all. You don't need to be crazy to be on a mental health care plan. You're literally just getting a little bit of help. I'm the best I've ever been, but I went back to my doctor and I renewed mine again. And she was like, it's so good you're renewing this and just staying on top of it. Because I think if you think that you can have a few months of therapy and be done, like that's not how it works. Like you can get therapy for the rest of your life because you're constantly going through things that like happen like all the time. There's things I'm triggered about that come up all the time, and it's good to just stay on top of that and just talk about it.
Yeah. And Tara, you said you're not impacted by having a mental health plan, but I would argue you are, but it's a really positive impact that plan has had.
Oh, hugely positive. Like, it's amazing that I can't even tell you. I did this thing called timeline therapy with my psychologist. So my psychologist is she's a psychologist, but she's also quite holistic. And there's a therapy called timeline therapy, and you literally go along your timeline and you undo all of your beliefs, like everything that you've learned. You just say goodbye to things because everything we go through, everything we're triggered by is something that we have that's in our unconscious mind.
Yes.
So it's something that is stored in our brain and it's making us react a certain way. And so there was all of these things from my childhood to where I am now that made me the way I was, and which was so anxious. And so I went, and over a couple of weeks I unpacked all of this stuff, and it was crazy. It was such a crazy experience. And I felt like I was reborn. It was the weirdest thing. And I'm not one of those woo-woo people. Like, I'm not. Like, I'm pretty like black and white. Like, I'm not like a crystal person. You know, those people like, you bit like incensey, burning sage around the house. I'm not like that. I'm like, just your normal like neighbor, you know.
But you were open to this. You were open to this therapy,
Yeah, I felt honestly, I felt like I was reborn from it. I felt like a full different person. My anxiety went. My husband recently did the same thing, because I was like, no, you know what? Like, I've done my share. You got to go do yours too. Because we started arguing about some stuff, and I was like, look, I was like, I would like if you could just sort some of your own stuff out. And he went and did it, and he as well has seen some incredible changes.
Wow.
Just by like saying goodbye to some of those things that are stuck in the back of our minds that we don't know are actually triggering us into behaving in certain ways.
Yeah. Oh, that rings so true to me. You're so right, especially when you become a mother. All this stuff comes up and it forces you to work on yourself in a way you wouldn't even have realised before. But you see these little creatures you've made mirroring, you know, your issues,
reactions,
I suppose, or behaviours back to you, and you realise, like, this is something I need to work on. It's so fascinating.
Oh, yeah. It is. I did one recently. So I still talk to my psychologist, and I was noticing that I was always never with the kids, like I could never just stop. I'm so stressed about like fucking them up. Like, I'm so stressed about them needing care, like them needing mental health care like one day, and like, you know, I'm just so scared of like messing their brains up, and
same.
Just over stressing about everything and just trying to do everything like to like the highest like quality I can in the house. And I'm like, where is that stemming from? And I was like, I need to unpack this. I was like, because it's not healthy. My brain is like overworking. I'm trying to do too much in my day. I'm not getting a rest. And so we did some therapy, and it completely came up like what exactly was triggering that. And we just turned that off, said goodbye to it. And now I'm like a more calm mum, and I'm able to just let things be a little bit more without the stress of perfection.
So good. I
need
mum.
this. What is it? Timeline. I'm looking it up. I need this.
I'll send you my therapist's number. She's amazing. I can't even. Oh, it makes me cry like thinking about it, because I'm like, I feel like everyone needs it, because we all have our things. Like, some people have been through worse things than others, but there was like little things that you don't even know have affected you can affect you.
I was just thinking that things that you don't
later.
You may not have even thought of it for years, but this process brings it up, and you realise, hang on, that all adds up now. It all makes sense.
Yeah. There was this one thing that came up for me, which was it's such a weird thing, but it was like a vital thing that caused me a lot of like self-doubt. And it was when I was late to school, I think I would have been like in year 2 or 3 or something like that. And I was in the school band and I came and I was late again. I was always late to school. And I got kicked out of the band in front of like everyone in the class, and they took my instrument off me, and like I got the blame for it, even though like I obviously don't have a car when I'm in year 1 and year 2.
Of course.
So it really wasn't my fault being late to school. And I got the blame for it. And that was something that came up in therapy and like had such a big impact on like me as like an adult, which is so crazy. Yeah, it's little things like that that you don't even know that you're holding on to, that you're just saying goodbye to. And and it just really, after the therapy, I was able to just love myself so much more and trust my mind, because that was a big thing. I never trusted my mind. So I was super easy to manipulate and kind of run circles around, because I would always trust what anyone else says. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, no, I know what's right. Don't fuck with me.
What a
you
great
can't now.
example for your kids, though. I mean, just awesome.
They're only 2 and 3, but they would be already watching and
They will, yes.
soaking it all in and absorbing so much from your
100%.
example.
100%. Even like when my daughter is like, I'm not doing that, I'm like, yes, you go, girl. Yeah, you say no if you don't want to do that.
We did a fabulous episode on the mental load, and you know, that's just one thing that I've been nonstop thinking about since, and how, you know, these children are watching us and they're learning these patterns. And just like you say, all of the stuff that's come up for you, it's like, okay, well, you know, what can we do now for them so that they can see how things really should be equal and all the rest of it.
A balanced home.
100%. And it's just so good that the dads now are getting so much more involved in everything. So my son is I reckon he's better around the house. Well, my daughter's only 2, but like he's trying to help me empty the dishwasher. He literally takes his shoes off and puts them in his cupboard left and right next to each other.
Great.
Like, so he's already demonstrating that, what he's seeing both Nick and I do around the house. It's just so good to see, because that like my husband wouldn't have had that. Like the dads didn't do much back when we were little. That's just wasn't the time.
Very different generation.
But mums did everything, and that's what's my undoing now is, okay, I had the best mum in the world and she did everything for us, and you know,
you still have the best mum in the world.
Yeah, I just mean, sorry, Mum, I know you're listening. But what I mean is, now as a mum, it's okay for me to say, well, no, I need a little bit of time for myself, and that's okay. And I'm sure my mum could look back and say, yeah, that would have been nice.
Well, we've always been taught, and this is another thing that I've been trying to change as well. We've always been taught that like a really good mum and a really good wife is someone who keeps a really nice home, and that's pretty much it. No one's asking, oh, did you connect with your kids today? Like no one. Why is anyone caring about that? Like, where are our priorities?
So true.
Literally, like, why are people more obsessed with the way someone's house looks? Why are we getting criticized for being messy and we're not getting criticized for ignoring our kids all day? Like,
but our house looks good. Haven't spoken to the kids, but like, spot on.
No one's like, oh wow, like that's so good. Your house is a mess. You guys look like you've been having fun. No one says that. Why? No. Why? Yeah. No one's like, oh, good on you for taking time out of your day to go get a facial and a massage. You know, it's kind of like, oh, wow, you did that.
It's that guilt trip.
Yeah, and the fact I'm still guilty of if someone comes to visit, oh, I'm sorry, the house is a mess. Why am I apologising? Why am I doing that?
Yep. We live here.
Yes. It's a lived-in house.
Yeah. I was like, up until recently, I always, when my husband would get home, I'm like, oh, sorry, babe, the house is a mess. Why am I feeling like it needs to be tidy for him to get through? I know, because it's something I've been taught that needs to happen when I was little. And so now I'm just, I asked him, I was like, do you mind if the house is a mess when you get home? And he's like, not at all. He's like, I don't want you to stress about cleaning it. Even just having that conversation, I was like, this is me putting the pressure on myself. Literally, I am making my job harder.
Yep.
And then I'm getting pissed off at everyone else because I'm like, it's your fault because you're messing it up. It's your fault because, you know, because this is all up to me. I'm like, but no, it's literally in my head. I don't need to do it. What we do is we leave it. The kids go to bed and then we clean it up together.
Ready for the next day.
And it's ready for the next day. That's it, you know?
You still have very little kids, and it's cool listening to you. And you know, my kids are older than yours, but I'm learning from what you're saying. So yeah, it's really lovely to hear what you're talking about. Yeah. And even though they are so little, I'd love to know what's on the horizon for you. I'm sure, you know, you're coming into a bit more time where you've got a bit more space and energy, and anything you can share with us?
Oh, look, I've been putting a lot more time into myself, which has been amazing. So I'm just excited to continue like my journey of health a little bit more. I don't know exactly what's on the horizon, but I feel some shifts happening and I feel like I'm really going in a good direction at the moment. I just don't know what that entails for me. I'm such a trust the process person, so I never usually have that much of a plan. But I'm feeling like everything's leading to something. I just don't know what it is yet.
Yep, I feel it too.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
Yep, absolutely. That's spot on. Now, Tara, to wrap up our chat, chaos was the word you gave us back at the start to describe the woman you were before children. Can you give us a one word to describe who you are now that you are a mum?
Let me think. Powerhouse.
Oh, yes.
I love that.
I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a strong word.
It just fits into everything. Yeah. It's like that, like you just can't mess with it, you know? Like you've got this, like look at you kicking goals. I think every mum is a powerhouse.
But for some of us, I suppose motherhood rattles and shakes who we thought we were, and maybe that's still the case for you, but it actually feels like you've found yourself through motherhood.
I definitely have. I think motherhood stops you from being able to mask anything you were feeling, and I spent my life masking things that I was feeling and things that I should have dealt with that I never dealt with. I can't be going clubbing when I'm a mum. Yeah. So I'm sitting here going, what the hell? How am I going to mask this? Wait, I can't mask it. I need to deal with it. Yeah. And so I was forced to deal with it.
You've dealt with it so well.
You have.
Oh, my goodness. I've taken a lot away from this chat, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Timeline therapy being at the top of the list.
Yes. Oh, life-changing. Yeah. Life-changing.
Thank you so much for your chat and being so open with us. We're going to share the links to your socials in the show notes. I'm sure everyone's already following you, but if not, get onto it because she is a relatable
You will
mum.
learn something from Tara. Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys. Stop, you're going to make me cry. Oh, my God. So emotional.
Oh, that's the other thing that motherhood does, doesn't it? I mean,
makes you cry.
I cry at TV ads.
Oh, my God.
What is that?
I cried yesterday when the Canterbury Bulldogs lost the footy because I saw them sad. I don't even go for them. I was like, those poor men.
Those poor men with their huge NRL salaries. Yeah. Oh, how will they survive, Tara?
Those poor men have to go on Mad Monday tomorrow.
Yeah. Drink all the savvy bees.
Too good.
Thank you so much for your time, Tara. It's been so much fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us on How Motherhood Changed Me. We'd love you to be part of the conversation by connecting with us on social media. And if you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review and subscribe.